All right, and we are about ready to go here with our second set of races on this final day of the 2016-2017 season here at the Olympic Oval. This is the men's 1500 meter. First up at the start, it's Bart Seffinga from the Netherlands racing Jan van der Stouw, also from the Netherlands. These guys are underway. They'll be followed by Salo Spetter from the Netherlands and Tim Bushell from Alberta. And a false start here in the inner lane from Salo Spetter of the Netherlands. For Masters skaters in this quartet. First pair will be racing on their own. This is Seffinga and van der Stouw. Bart Seffinga, the white armband, comes through. His first lap time, 27.75. Van der Stouw, 30.23. As these skaters come around, they will have one lap to go. Seffinga, 29.5, his final lap. That's a 2-second drop off from his first lap. Van der Stouw, 32.6. So good progression in lap times for both skaters as Bart Seffinga is now in the last corner. Jan van der Stouw on the last straightaway, on the second last straightaway. They come around to the finish line. Seffinga almost falling, but he will finish with a final time of 1:54.74. Van der Stouw driving to the finish, his final time, 2:04.39. So our second pair will come to the line. This is Salo Spetter from the Netherlands and Tim Bushell from Alberta. Spetter charged with a false start in the inner lane. The next false start in this pair will be disqualified. And our second pair of men's 1500s are underway. Salo Spetter with the yellow armband in the inner lane. Tim Bushell with the red and the blue in the outer. As these skaters will come through their opening 300 meters. Spetter 29.1, 29.8 for Tim Bushell. These skaters racing over 3 3/4 lap race. 300-meter opener followed by 3 full laps. As Spetter continues to lead Bushell with 2 laps remaining. His first 400-meter time, 32.5, 33.2 for Bushell. As Salo Spetter will go over the top of Tim Bushell on this backstretch. Here at the Olympic Oval finale. This is the Sunday, the final day of racing at this competition, the final day of racing this season. Spetter leading the way, 33.81, 34.34 for Bushell. So Spetter keeps this up. He will win this 1,500-meter race. He has 2 seconds on his pair coming into the last lap. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Calgary. That usually means that the ice will be fast as atmospheric conditions are good. Salo Spetter will come to the line, 2:10.52 his final time, 2:12.65 for Bushell. So the Masters skaters are out of the way, and now we move on to the young guns. Here's quartet number 2, pairs 3 and 4. Expect a fast one here. Conrad Nagy from Hungary in the inner lane. Richard McLennan from Ontario in the outer. They'll be followed by Marcel Bosker from the Netherlands and Kahanbai Alamasi from China. Clean start for these guys. McLennan and Nagy trying to pick up their speed in the first 100 meters. Starting right behind them is Bosker and Alamasi. All 4 skaters underway now. Nagy and McLennan. McLennan leads the way, 23.7, sub 24 opener. That's very fast. He's setting up a big draft on Conrad Nagy. 24.0 was his time opening split. Here come Alamasi and Bosker. Alamasi leads the way, 23.9, 24.2 for Bosker. So Alamasi setting up a big draft. Every draft is important in these short races. First laps for Nagy and McLennan. 25.2 for Nagy, McLennan 25.5. They will aim to keep their next laps under 27 seconds. If they're in the 26, it's Kahanbai Alamasi going down. He went down hard. He is still down on the ice as Nagy and McLennan are on their last lap now. Nagy, excellent split, 26.4, 28.0 for McLennan. So McLennan fading hard as Marcel Bosker on his final lap. His second lap was a 26.89, And looks like Kahanbai Alamasi is back on his feet. He's okay. Conrad Nagy will finish 1:44.16. That was a fast time. 1:47.99 for McLennan. And Marcel Bosker will skate to the finish. He will end this race with a time of 1:45.40. That's quick as well. So Conrad Nagy, the cream of the crop so far, 1:44.16, the time to beat. Kahanbai Alamasi fell hard from the inner lane on his second lap. He's okay though, he got back up. A referee's checking the ice, making sure that it is safe to skate on. So up next, a couple of fast pairs. Brian Hansen from the US will be racing Martin Corbett from Ontario. They'll be followed by Alec Janssens from BC and Ben Donnelly from Ontario. Ice crew fixing a scratch in the ice, making sure that everything is safe and secure. These guys go so fast, up to 60 kilometers an hour in this 1,500 meter races. Up next, Brian Hansen, Martin Corbett. Brian Hansen had a fantastic 10-kilometer race yesterday. Expect a good 1,500 from him. He has a lot of endurance. He does not die. Martin Corbett has a quick start, though. Should be an interesting race. Starting behind them, two Canadian skaters, two middle distance Canadian skaters. Alec Janssens and Ben Donnelly. Ben Donnelly, the 2016 World Junior Champion. That was last season. As they line up on the line, Hansen and Corbett. Here we go. They're off the line with a clean start. Janssens and Donnelly will be starting behind them. As Corbett has to stick it to Brian Hansen in the opener here if he wants any chance at winning this race. Brian Hansen finishing strong as Hansen will take the opener, 24-0. He is flying. Martin Corbett, 24-3. Quick openers for Hansen and Corbett as Ben Donnelly and Alec Janssens will come through their opening 300. 24-2 for Donnelly. Janssens, 25-1. Look out, Janssens can finish strong as well. As Hansen and Corbett come through the line. Opening lap times, 26-0 for Hansen. Corbett, 26-6. Pay attention to the next lap. Hansen will aim to skate another 26-second lap. Corbett will try to keep his next lap under 27.5. Janssens opening lap time 26.4. Donnelly is sub 26, 25.9. Bell lap for Brian Hansen, Martin Corbett. Brian Hansen, a half-second die-off, 26.7. Smoking second lap for Brian Hansen. Martin Corbett, mid-27. As Donnelly and Janssens are now on their last lap. Ben Donnelly, 26.9. Janssens, 27.7. As Brian Hansen will come to the line. Impressive race from Brian Hansen, 1:44.85. That's good for second place on our leaderboard. Martin Corbett, 1:48.35. As Ben Donnelly, all on his own in the second pair, 1:45.22. Comes close to Brian Hansen, just not close enough. Jansen's 149.16. So Nagy has the time to beat as we move on to our next pair. This is Dan Carruthers in the inner lane and Denny Morrison from BC in the outer. Starting behind them, Daniel Dubreuil from Quebec and Livio Wenger from Switzerland. $1,500 is Denny Morrison's bread and butter. He is Olympic medalist from Sochi in this distance. Denny Morrison recovering from a motorcycle accident 2 years ago, suffering a stroke a year later. As our second pair is now underway, looks like this is Wenger skating on his own. Daniel Dubreuil a scratch in this race as Carruthers opens 23.79. Any opener under 24 seconds is very fast. Denny Morrison 24.08, no slouch. As Livio Wenger is now in through his first 300 meters, his opening split 24.3. As Carruthers and Morrison through 700 meters. Denny Morrison 25.39. That's a fast second lap for him. 26.17 for Carruthers. So Denny Morrison got beat on the opener, but he's making up that time on the first lap. He's chasing the time by Conrad Nagy as Livio Wenger comes through. His first 400-meter time, 26.1, on pace with Carruthers. Bell lap now for Morrison and Carruthers. Denny Morrison, 26.6. He's 0.3 back of Conrad Nagy with 1 lap to go. Carruthers, 28.1. As Wenger with 500 meters to go. They ring the bell for him. Can he keep pace? Livio Wenger, almost no drop off. Another 26 as Denny Morrison falling down the straightaway. Dan Carruthers will have to skate around him. Morrison getting just out of the way in time. Carruthers finishes with a final time of 1:48.63. Denny Morrison falling with 50 meters to go in that race. He was on a fast one. Can Livio Wenger skate a low 27-second lap? And he drops a little bit more for a final time of 1:46.07. Denny Morrison with a fall, finishing with a 1:54.50. He was chasing Conrad Nagy on that last lap. On pace with Nagy, Hansen, and Donnelly. So bad luck there from Denny Morrison. As our referees double check the ice. Stay tuned for more 1,500-meter action up next. Yanan Jin from China and Sam Deckert from the United States. They're paired with Tyson Langelar from Manitoba and Stephen Hartman from the US. And so the referees are satisfied. It looks like we are ready to resume racing with quartet number 5, Jin Yanan and Sam Deckert, followed by Tyson Langelar and Stephen Hartman. As the first pair is now underway, this is Jin Yanan, Sam Deckert. Yanan on the inner, Deckert on the outer as they try to build up their speed at the start of this 1,500 meter. Second pair is now underway. Tyson Langelar, Stephen Hartman. As Sam Deckert leads the way, sub 24 opener, 23-8, 24-1 for Yan'an. As our second pair is now coming through their opener. First pair can see them in their sights at the end of the straightaway. Langelar 24-6, Hartman 24-7. These guys will come through 700 meters down for our first pair, both in the low 26s. Can our second pair keep pace? 26-3 for Langelar, Hartman 26-5. Both skaters in the high 27s on their second lap in the first pair. Tyson Langelar won the bronze medal at the World Juniors this season in this very distance. That was held in Helsinki, Finland, as he leads his pair 27-3. He's gaining ground on Sam Deckert and Jin Yan'an. Be an interesting finish here as Deckert taking off across the line. His final time 1:47.93. Yan'an 1:49.43 as Deckert and as Langelar and Hartman are now in their final corner. Langelar, 50 meters to go, still driving to the line. His final time 1:47.82, just squeaking ahead of Sam Deckert. 1:49.53 for Hartman. As we move on to our next quartet, this is Emery Lehman from the United States in the inner lane. He's paired with David Larue from Quebec in the outer, Jeffrey Swider Peltz from the US, and Alan Dahl Johansen from Norway right behind them. False start in our first pair. Not sure who that was. Looks like it's the inner lane. Emery Lehman false starting to start off this quartet. So they will try again. Next false start will be disqualified, so the skaters have to be careful. Notice Lehman wearing a glove on his right hand. He uses that to execute a down start. This is where he puts his hand on the ground, more like a track and field start. David Larue with a more traditional speed skating start. As these two skaters are underway in this opening 300 meters of this 1,500 meter race, starting behind them, quite the pair, Jeffrey Swider Peltz and Alan Dahl Johansen. Alan Dahl Johansen, junior athlete, was the world junior champion in the 1,500 meter this season. Expect a good race from him as Lehman and Larue open with 24-3 and 24-6. Swider Peltz, Dahl Johansen keeping pace with him, as Dahl Johansen had the fastest opener, 24-1. Our first pair is now through 700 meters. That's Larue 26-0. Looks like Emery Lehman will not complete this race. He either stood up or fell, we're not sure which. As Dahl Johansen comes through 26-2 his opening lap, 26-4 for Swider Peltz. Bell lap now for David Larue, another 26. So David Larue, good lap progression, 2 26s in a row. Can he skate a low 27 on his final lap? With Swider Peltz and Dahl Johansen with one lap left now. In the mid 27s for both skaters. David Larue will skate to the line. His final time, 1:45.85. Wow, that is a fast time for David Larue. That puts him into second amongst Canadians, just behind Ben Donnelly. It's good company there, as Dahl Johansson will win this pair, 146.61, 147.68 for Swider Peltz.